Hello and welcome back to another Sunday School video. My name is James and today I'm going to be using one of my favourite things I used to play with. I still think it's really cool, and that is a Lego. This is one of my Lego people. And what I'm going to be doing is using that to try and explain how awesome God is. It's going to be sort of a bit of science involved, a bit of maths. If you don't like that, don't worry, because it'll still be really cool. I'm just going to try and sort of show you a little bit how awesome God is, because God is so awesome that we can't even think about how awesome he is. But what I'm going to do is try and explain in a fun little way sort of how I'm not as good as God, and by that maybe I'll be able to show you quite how awesome God is. So we're going to get started. I'm going to do a little thing with the Lego, and then I'm going to bring it back at the end, and we're going to discuss some bits from the Bible as well. So without further ado, let's get into seeing how I am definitely not as good as God.
So here we are in the World Championships of how fast can James build a Lego man. You can see he's limbering up well. He's prepared for the contest. And he's off. He's away now. The legs are on well. We struggled for the next part. Couldn't quite find it. Got that one on. The head's on there. He's doing well. Now the helmet's on and so's the backpack. A brilliant time of 10 seconds. But I'm sure other people will be able to beat it at home.
So then, after that, you saw me build my little guy. It was a fairly poor attempt, if I'm honest, but in the end, it managed to be 10 seconds it took me to build it. So what I'm going to do is now say that the human body, so our bodies, are made up of cells. They're like the building blocks, like in Lego. I've got the helmet and I've got the head. They're like the building blocks that make up our body. And our bodies have around, not quite, but an approximate estimate, around 30 trillion of these. Now, I've left this little space here because some numbers are going to start appearing as I do some maths on the way down, so you don't have to work it out in your head because there's some quite big numbers. But yeah, so our bodies have 30 trillion cells in them. That is a mind-bogglingly massive amount. Now, I don't expect you've ever counted to 30 trillion in your head. It would probably take, in fact, I'm not sure it's even possible. I think you'd run out of life before you got there. But let's say, right, 30 trillion there. So let's say I did in 10 seconds 6 cells. Let's say I was trying to make a human, and in 10 seconds I could make 6 cells. That means we'll divide our first number by 6 and then times it by 10 here, because, yeah, it takes me 10 seconds to make 6 cells. That makes sense. So then we've got, it would take me 50 trillion seconds to make a human. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know how long seconds is in that long. So I'm going to divide it down a bit. We'll turn these seconds into minutes. That's a big number. 833,333,333,333 minutes. I don't know if sometimes you find like a 60-minute lesson a bit boring at school. 833 billion minutes is still quite a lot, but that's still a number that's too big for my head. I can't get around it. So we're going to go a little bit smaller again. We're going to change those minutes into hours. So there's 60 minutes in an hour, so we're going to divide by 60 again. So it would take me, James, off Sunday school, it would take me 13,888,000,000 888,888 hours to build a human. Now, that's still quite a big number and it's still quite a long time. So I'm going to make it even more easy to see. We're going to change those hours. We're going to divide by 24 into days. So we get to me. It would take me 578,703,703 days to build a human. And for the final one, we'll divide those days into years. So we'll divide it by 365. And it would take me, James, the one who definitely isn't as good as God, 1,585,489 years to build a human. Most people live to, let's say, maybe 80, 90, 100. It would take me over 1 million years to build a human. Mind-boggling. And do you know how long it took God to build a human when he built Adam in creation? 1 day. It's incredible. That's where we're going to go next. We're going to go to the creation story, and then we're going to go to how God creates all of us. So that's me, one human. I'm not going to do the maths for times in that. So all the people that are on the planet and all the people that have been on the planet. But it's just sort of a little fun little explanation, tripping over my words, of how incredibly awesome God is, that he was able to create Adam in 1 day, and it would have taken me, if we go back to the day one, over 500 million days. So we're going to go now and look at those Bible verses.
So here's that first verse I was talking about where it says, "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them." Now, this isn't a God accidentally made these people. This isn't a sort of, oh, God whipped them together. This is God created us, and he created us to be like him. I think that's incredible. And then the next one is, it says this, we're looking at verse 3 here. "Through him, all things were made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made." Now, this is showing that it's not an accident that we were created. This isn't something that's just happened, but it's something that's been planned, and it's God that made us. And then here's the last one I wanted to talk about, where it says, "Indeed, the very hairs of your head are all numbered." Now, when you make something, I find you often remember little details about it. And this is sort of one of those things that shows us that God created us, and how awesome that is, that he knows and has numbered every hair on our head. And it's like us when we make something and we remember it. Well, God has made us, and he remembers everything about us, even those hairs on our head. And I think that shows that God really cares for us. And again, how awesome it is that God has created us, and how much sort of power that has taken God to do in the first place.
So hopefully you have enjoyed that, about the complexity of making a human and how incredible it is that God was able to make us, and how even when he's made us, he knows every part of us. I think that's really awesome, that we know that God loves us and he knows us, and that we can have a relationship with that God, I think is incredible. So please do go and look at other videos if you've missed any of the weeks before. Please do go and have a look. They're really cool. And hopefully we'll see you again next time. Have a great rest of the day. And bye-bye for now.